Hey, yo, salute to the comment section, because a lot of times when y'all disagree with some of the things I say, when y'all offer me pushback, it gives me more to talk about. And I'm not saying this in a sarcastic way. Y'all keep on hating. Y'all just giving me more content. I don't mean like that. Y'all provide the opportunity for me to elaborate on, points I may have missed when I was talking about a particular thing or another, right? But so the topic today is math Hoffa. Somebody in my comments they left a message, a rather angry message. They was like, "So you go against your own FBA for him." I don't remember if they called him a name or something like that. I don't remember. This was a few days ago, right? But I've been meaning to get to it. So here it is. I'm sure most of us, everybody watching this is an adult. We're all adults here, right? Uh, I I I do the analytics. I know ain't nobody. Very few of you are young, right? But you know how you when you was a kid, you don't remember ever having that one friend, right? You had a friend where your family didn't rock with him. They didn't like him for some reason. Whether their reason might have been good, their reason might have not been good, right? But you, in your heart and in your eyes, you didn't see that. You think he's this, I know he's that, right? You never had that? It could have been with your girlfriend. Your family ain't like your girl or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Something like that. But you stood tall with that person, right? You know what I mean? You ain't going to fight your family, right? But you going to stick up, you going to stick up for your homeboy. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at with the whole Mad Hoffa situation. You know what I'm saying? I noticed some content floating around with Mecca and and Gap Murder, and they basically saying how, like, they didn't know, or they wouldn't, it would, if it was up to them, they wouldn't have went public with the situation in the barbershop. You know what I mean? Mecca was like, he found out when everybody else did. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. You know what I mean? But when I look at, I'm looking at everybody, everybody everybody's in a predicament now because, well, everybody who was in that predicament are now faced with how they want to handle it. You know what I mean? And it wasn't them that made that decision. So, I was sensing a little bit of frustration from the brothers and all of that. Salute to them, salute to Math. They all, they already know where I stand. You know what I mean? A lot of people, the hate train is still going on. I see a lot of, people who was, niggas didn't, or like I said, people didn't like Math since he was in battle rap, right? So, you know, if somebody is hating on Math now, I don't have a problem with that, right? No, I'm not even tripping on that, or I'm not tripping, period. But like, I'm just like, that's not what bothers me. That's not what bugs me, grinds my gears. It's the dudes who are who cool with Son, or who was cool with Son, or who acted like they was cool with Son, who you know, it just surprises me because you know, it worries me. I'm like, like, I'm cool with a lot of niggas, but I don't have a lot of, I'm not close with a lot of niggas, but I'm cool with a lot of niggas. I mean, the niggas that I'm close to, I'm close with. You understand what I'm saying? But overall, like, I'm an artist. I done traveled the whole world multiple times and all of that. So I'm cool with a lot of people, right? But it's it makes a nigga worrisome. Like, if if I have a misunderstanding, no, taking the consideration that I'm coming from the position of the person who, the kid who brung his homeboy home from school, and his family or whatever, or that person, his family didn't really agree with him. But I'm like, what you talking? This is a good nigga right here. You understand? So I'm coming from that perspective. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, anyway, kind of forgot where I was going just by explaining to you which perspective I was speaking to. But I think I went far enough for y'all to get what I was saying. Hopefully. But I have an idea for Math Hoffa. A few ideas, but one of them is well, I'll share with you two. One of them is don't fight this. You know what I mean? Son he's naturally a fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, most of us are. Fight or flight. Some of us run, some of us don't. You know what I mean? And or freeze, fight, flight, or freeze. They leave out the freeze a lot. But anyway, don't fight it. People want to see, like I stated before, people want to see son they want to see him humbled, I guess. They think, like, I think people think accountability looks like, apologies and, excessive apologizing and groveling and all of that. You know what I'm saying? But, I don't think that's necessary. But, I think like just one post where, like one video where he just runs things down the one last time and just put a little bit of extra emphasis on where he may have went wrong. You understand what I'm saying? When you get to those parts of the story, you know what I'm saying? Just, put color over it with a highlight marker. Those parts right there. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, what you're responsible for, right? But yeah, bro, like, that don't absolve people of their wrongs in the situation. And I don't blame son for not doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's just all in the way you frame the communication. Also, I hear a lot of people, a lot of people in my own comments, like, when I talk about Math Hoffa, I get a lot of pushback. Him and that, yeah, I guess it's all things FBA related. Because him and the Fat Joe situation and all of that. But like I said, it's all things FBA related, right? But in my comments, a lot of times they be talking about son music. He forces music on niggas, blah 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 blah, all of that, right? Ask rappers, like, real rappers. Not to say real rappers. I ain't calling nobody a fake rapper. But I'm talking about established rappers. Any rapper that's established as a battle rapper and any rapper that's established in the industry, right? If they are aware of Math Hoffa bar work, ask them, do they think he can rap or not? And I guarantee you they will tell you yes, right? Now, song making, that's about preference. You understand what I'm saying? You got, he can it could be a song that's dope that I don't like, but I know it's dope, it's just not my flex, right? So that, that's subjective, but anybody who really do this and is honest will tell you that Math can really rap, right? But I think a lot of hate just carried over from him. I think a lot of people in general, like the stigma of battle rappers not being able to make good music, I think people just write off a lot of battle rappers, period. You understand what I'm saying? You only a few of them y'all give they props, and they had to burn holes in the ground to do that, to get y'all to do that. You understand what I'm saying? But way more of them actually make good music. I'll be checking for it. You understand what I'm saying? But I think Math brung over so much hate from before. You understand? It just carries over, and it's just the cool thing to say. That music is trash. You know what I'm saying? You're trash. So what I want to do is I want to do some music with Math. Right? I have a very honest and a very honest, loyal, and sophisticated fan base, right? When I say honest, I say that to say this, right? I don't get a lot of hate. Not to say I don't get no hate, but I don't get a lot of hate. And you know, I'm happy about that. Maybe it's because you know what I'm saying, I ain't large enough. But I don't. You understand what I'm saying? I don't get niggas in, you know, all in the comment section talking about some shit is trash, right? When they know it's not. Like, you know, I see people in the comments do that to people. You know, people will troll their favorite artist just to get a reaction. I don't do that. How you trolling them in here? They do that. You know, I don't get that sort of stuff, right? So I want to do some music with Math and expose them to my fan base because I know they gonna keep it 100. You understand what I'm saying? Not my YouTube fan base. You understand what I'm saying? Because y'all come here to hear me talk shit. So I mean, you know, y'all click on the videos, y'all see the title. I'm not saying it in a negative way or not, but the people who come here for my vlogs, you know what I mean? It's a little bit different from the people who've been here from day one, from Nocturnal or even before Nocturnal, Helter Skelter, Heads Ain't Ready, and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I mean, granted, some of them are in here. Goodness gracious. Pause protesters, get your ass out of here. Let's see y'all. Welcome to the nation. Monster Nation, that is. I'm your host, tour guide, all of that. The landlord, owner, tenant, owner, tenant, janitor, I mops the damn floor. See? I shouldn't have said it. You know what I'm saying? But with you, though. If you don't follow the rules, you gotta like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, do all of the things that make a page pop. You know what I'm saying? Nonviolent Rocker was out. My sister Bernadette Price just now dropped the album last night, today. Go get involved. It's called Widow's Cry. You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, my fans, I think, you know what I mean, with their sophisticatedness, you know what I mean, and they don't go nowhere. You understand what I'm saying? Salute the Monster Nation. Salute to all of my citizens. Salute to all of the boot camp fans, all of the Helter Skelter fans, Sean Price fans, because y'all are a special bunch, and I rock with y'all. But yeah, I want to expose Math musically to my fan base. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? When they find out what I find out, then they'll be rocking with them. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna go nowhere. But I must admit I am a little bit worried. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing the Gap murder video, and I didn't see Mecca's direct content. I saw somebody repurposing his content. You know what I'm saying? He had an interview with Rory and Maul and stuff like that. You know, I'm a little bit concerned. You know, I was kind of, you know, being able to read between the lines. I'm a little bit concerned and all of that, but salute to all of my brothers. I know Math is going to bounce back. You know what I mean? But back to the kid. When you bring that person home, right, and your family or your hood or whatever, they wasn't really rocking with them. It may have happened multiple times. Were you right or were they right in the end? And if it was more than times, what's your average? Because I'm gonna tell you, for me, most of the times I was right. Most of the times. Not gonna say I'm batting, I got 100% average, but nigga, I would be on the honor roll if we was grading the test. I would be, you understand? You know what I'm saying? I would get an A on that test, maybe not an A plus, B plus, the lowest. You know what I mean? But everybody gonna have their fun. They're gonna crack their jokes. They're gonna do what they're gonna do because it's all content. The people who was cool with math, but but now they going crazy on him right now. I mean, I understand some people giving him a talking to. If you don't agree with him and you trying to tell him something as a man or whatever, you're welcome to do that. I mean, you're welcome to do what you want. I'm just saying, like, just how I look at it or whatever. That's cool. But I think a lot of people are just like, maybe I feel like a lot of people feel like disrespectful content is what sells. That's what I'm doing. And I just hate to see niggas that I rock with be victim of that. I don't want to be victim of that. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know how to. I'm not mature enough to handle that. I'm not. You understand what I'm saying? People think I'm just some old Zen Lord mass. You understand what I'm saying? Or some rap. The last time some dude thought I was just a rapper and not with the shits.com, it did not go well for him. You understand what I'm saying? And I want to say that anyway. I digress. So that's why I speak with so much respect. You understand what I'm saying? Salute to all of the vloggers. I don't, I'm saying, want no smoke because I don't want to go to jail. There, I said it. I don't want to go to jail. All right? And you shouldn't either. If you made it to the end of this video, let me get 4 peace signs. All right? Sorry for all of the points I lost, but ADHD gang, bang, bang, bang. Tell the feds I'm down with the ADHD gang. And tell them to round all us up and help us. Rock on, rock on.